Next up, let's hear it for Lauren King.
Welcome, Lauren. So, Lauren, you've got an honours degree in psychology, working in child protection before saying yes to this business, then building it in stolen moments around all of that. Tell us how this journey really started.
For sure. So I was the first person in my family to go to university. Hands up in here, who's gone to uni? Like, I know there's a fair few of us, right? We did everything right. I studied really hard. Like Celine said, I was studying psychology. I got a scholarship. I worked really hard to get into my honours year, did my thesis, wrote my research paper, juggled the 3 or 4 bartending jobs like most of us do when we're at uni. And then I finally got a 9 to 5. I got a graduate position working in child protection, which was like the holy grail. But my 9 to 5 was really like a 6 to 7. When you throw in the commute, you throw in all the overtime, because when 5 o'clock comes around, you don't just get to clock off if kids need you. And to be honest, I never clocked off. I took it all home with me, and it was really heavy. 2 years in, I was emotionally and physically burnt out. I was really struggling to see light and hope in the world, let alone walk my talk preaching self-love and health. I remember being at work one day and I got a call from my dad saying that my nan was about to pass away. It's that really awkward position where you're like, do you fly home now and hope that you're going to get there in time to be there and say goodbye? Or do you wait so you can be there for the funeral? My mum is my best friend, so the thought of my mum about to lose her best friend, I wanted to be there for her, and something in my gut was telling me I needed to go home. So I took the next flight home and spent the next 4 nights sleeping on the floor in the nursing home. And I remember wanting to take my little brother out and away from all the sadness. So we went and played Pokemon. Anyone else use that app, Pokemon? Was that big over here? And I remember coming home late that night and all the doors and lights were on in my family home, but nobody was home. I remember thinking, okay, something's happened. Then I got another call. It was my dad saying she's had a heart attack. I assumed Nan. He said, no, your mum. So the emotional and physical stress from the last 2 weeks caused my mum to have a massive heart attack. And they airlifted her to St. Vincent's in Melbourne. They couldn't stabilise her, so they asked us to say goodbye and start the 3-hour drive to Melbourne. So by this time, it was in the middle of the night. I remember having my dad and my 2 younger brothers in the car and just looking out the window, which was like 3 a.m. in the morning, thinking, is that why my gut was telling me I had to come home? Was I about to lose my mum? So we spent the next 5 nights sleeping on the hospital floor. And I'm so, so grateful that they were able to stabilise mum, and we begged them to let us to go home so we could go see Nan. They let us go, and when we got home, we literally walked into the door just to get another call that Nan had just passed away. I flew home straight after my nan's funeral. By this time, it had been 2 weeks. I had no annual leave left. I had 20 families that were relying on me to keep their kids safe. I had colleagues who had massive caseloads of their own, trying to juggle that, plus trying to manage the risk of holding mine as well. So I flew back feeling heavy, resentful, back to where I was overworked and I had nothing left to give. And I think that was my real breaking point, where I thought, what's the point in giving like literally every single part of me to be there for everybody else and their families if I can't even be there for my own? And that's where I got to work. That's when I really realized I always had this business in my hand the whole time, but I think that's when I realized that I could actually really help people. And I could do it in a way that wouldn't come at the expense of my health, my family, and my values. So I got to work. I chose my hard, because let's be honest, this business is not easy. That's why we're all here, because the alternative isn't any easier. And I was okay with being bad at it, because oh my God, I was so bad at it, for long enough until I got good at it. And so my message to you is, you don't have to wait for death or something traumatic to happen to help you make that second decision to really say yes to this business. But you can use the awareness of death to help give you perspective, to help give you purpose, and to give you courage to do the things at the start that are out of your comfort zone and they're scary. So the truth is, we're all going to die. We don't get to decide when or how, but we do get to decide how we want to live. So please decide, guys, is this how you want to live? Is this the best you can do? Is this the best you can be? Is this how you want to show up in the world? Is this the legacy you want to leave behind? Is this the example you want to set for your kids? Don't leave this weekend without making a decision of what you're going to do with the gift that you have in your hands, because everybody dies, but not everybody lives. Thanks.
Thank you, Lauren. Well done.